Good morning, everyone. It's already Sunday, July 12th. I'm Christina Laurie. We are heading into a new week with a new coronavirus record. For the third day in a row, COVID cases reached a new high here in Wisconsin. Positive cases totaled 926 in the past 24 hours. That's 81 more than Friday's record-breaking numbers. The percentage of positive tests is also up to nearly 8%. Testing has increased since Friday, but 7 new deaths were also reported, bringing that total to 821. Many states have had far worse weeks than us Wisconsinites. No country in the world currently outpaces Florida, Arizona, or South Carolina for new COVID cases per capita. You can see how those states stack up in this graphic from the New York Times. The graphic takes a look at new confirmed cases over the past week. 15 of the 25 regions listed are states in the U.S. The rest are countries. Because of this, the World Health Organization is reinforcing what local health experts have been telling us for a while now, to avoid crowded indoor spaces. They say the virus is still mainly being spread through close contact with infected people, but it's calling for more research into airborne transmission. The group's latest scientific report says airborne transmission has been reported at restaurants, nightclubs, churches, and gyms. What all these spaces have in common is that they're typically crowded and not properly ventilated. There is now growing concern that the coronavirus may spread farther than previously thought in these spaces. It's commonly understood that particles from a sneeze, for example, can spread up to 6 feet without a mask. But more than 200 scientists are now encouraging the WHO to reconsider their guidance on that when it comes to indoor spaces.
Researchers around the world say the evidence is clear. The coronavirus is likely airborne. When we cough or sneeze, larger airborne droplets containing virus can travel, usually up to about 6 feet. But smaller particles can be emitted simply by talking or singing and can go much farther and linger in the air for hours.
They don't fall to the ground in 6 feet, and they can remain in the air for hours and potentially infectious for hours.
What would you like the WHO to do?
Acknowledge that the risk goes beyond 6 feet.
Dr. Don Milton co-wrote the letter signed by nearly 240 scientists from around the world. How certain are you that aerosols are playing a significant role in the transmission of COVID-19, past, say, 6 to 8 feet?
You look at the restaurant outbreak in Guangzhou, several bus outbreaks in China, and it's clear that one person could infect people over much more than 6 feet.
In some circumstances, those aerosols can travel more than 30 feet. Each layer of protection helps, like this cloth mask that partially blocks an aerosol from a simulated cough. What implication does that have for somebody in their home or in their office indoors?
You need to have everybody wearing masks who are not in the same bubble, and that you need to have good ventilation.
Improved ventilation systems are a top priority for New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo.
If there is a way to filter the air and there's a way to get COVID out of the air, then we want to do that.
So if you still don't want to take guidance from the world's leading health experts on the importance of wearing masks, maybe you'll listen to this guy.
But the main reason we want you to wear a mask is to protect me from you and the particles from your respiratory system from getting into my respiratory system. Everybody, this is a matter literally of life and death. And when I use the word literally, I mean literally a matter of life and death. So when you're out in public, please wear a mask. Thank you for joining me on Consider the Following.
Okay, you might remember that guy, Bill Nye the Science Guy. If you're around my age, you'll remember him from your childhood science classes. Well, now he's back and on TikTok. In a 2-part video posted on the video platform, Nye demonstrates the effectiveness of different types of masks as he tries to blow out a nearby candle. He says surgical masks and N95s are the most effective, but cloth masks work well too. Tomorrow, Dane County will become the first in the state of Wisconsin to implement a mandatory mask order. That means you'll need to wear a face covering when you go inside any place other than your own home. This also applies when you're in someone else's home.
As we all wear masks together and we're in this together, we're protecting one another and preventing the spread of COVID. However, for those that are not in compliance, we would educate first, and thereafter there could be citations.
A citation outside the city will cost $263, while inside Madison it will cost you $376. The mask order applies to anyone over the age of 5. City officials say if you are not wearing a mask because you are unable due to a medical condition or disability, accommodations will be made for you. Our partners at Madison Magazine have compiled a list of places around town where you can get masks. That list includes local businesses, boutiques, and Etsy shops offering a variety of designs and price points. You can find all that information on our website. The United Way is also planning once again to give out masks for free. Shortly after the order was announced last week, the organization was passing out thousands of free disposable masks, bringing them right to people's cars to minimize physical interaction. We'll post the dates and times of future events like this once they become available. We also want to make sure we're being transparent about how we'll be handling Dane County's mask policy. Those of us who are on air here in the studio want to make sure you can hear and understand us, so we will be wearing masks to our seats here at the desk and keeping them with us, but we won't be wearing them as we share the news with you unless we need to be closer than 6 feet to each other. As you can see, I have no one around me now. Please note that since the pandemic started, we've been socially distancing our team and cleaning everything between shows. Thanks to our great crews for that. Now let's get a check of some of the best news of the week. This gorgeous weather. Gorgeous backdrop, Aaron.
It's going to be great out there today. We already have a lot of sunshine, just a few high clouds across Madison right now. And we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the day today and rather nice temperatures until we see some changes as we get into the middle of the week. For now, though, 67 in Madison, north wind at 7 miles per hour. Dew points are rather low as well, so we're not going to really see much in the way of humidity for the day today and even for Monday. But as we get towards midweek, that's when the dew points, the humidity really starts to rise, and it will bring the threat for showers and thunderstorms back into the picture by Tuesday and Wednesday. For now, though, temperatures generally into the 60s. We have 68 in Lone Rock, 62 in the Dells, and 61 in Camp Douglas. For today, we are going to see those temperatures warming up into the upper 70s by around noontime. 81 for the high later on today. And the three things to know for the forecast is sunny and pleasant today. We do see those showers and storms returning to the picture, though, and potentially some heavy rainfall by Tuesday and Wednesday. And unfortunately, it's summertime, so the heat will be back in the picture by next weekend.
Thank you so much, Aaron. This is something we've never said before. Now that the 4th of July is behind us, tax day is almost here. The Treasury Department postponed the traditional April 15th filing deadline until July 15th. That is this Wednesday, and this time there's no wiggle room. Financial advisor Mark Farnan joins us now to answer some last-minute questions. It's kind of like April and July, right, Mark?
Yes, it is indeed, Christina. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for talking to us. So the IRS has been processing returns more slowly than usual because of the pandemic. So what should last-minute filers who maybe haven't submitted their taxes know?
Yes, well, of course, if they haven't submitted their taxes, they can still file an extension. And I advise people to file an extension if they haven't done all the work they need to make sure that they file a correct 1040. But if you don't have to file an extension, it's better that you don't. So the most important thing to do right now is to open a Roth account or to make a contribution to an existing Roth account, because those are tax-free accounts that will be tax-free for the rest of your life when you start to take the distribution. That's a very important thing to do right now.
That's a great point to make. Saving is especially important right now. There's new research out that shows the average American can't even afford a $400 emergency payment. Many families out of work right now. So what can you do maybe with your tax refund money if times are tough?
Well, I know this sounds very obvious, but the most important thing that all of us can do, especially those of us working, is to save. Save extra amounts of money right now because the economy is very fragile. We're in a recession. With the coronavirus that you were just reporting on, more people we know are going to be losing their jobs. I believe Wells Fargo announced they're going to furlough or lay off 36,000 people yet this year. So we have to be very careful. Our jobs are fragile, and so is our economy, so saving is very important.
Saving is obviously important, but where do you start? If this is new to you and you don't have a lot in your bank account already, it can feel kind of overwhelming. So where do you begin?
Yes, I always recommend to people that they pay themselves first before they start to pay their bills. So if you don't have a savings account, go to your bank and open one, or better yet, open a money market account, which will pay you a higher interest rate. And every time that you receive your paycheck, have your bank automatically debit your checking account and put some money into that savings or money market account. And to start, if it's only $25 or $10 every pay period, what's important is that you're saving something. It's not how much you're saving, it's that you're saving. So that's the best way to start. And over time, that will build up. And you want to have 6 months minimum of reserve savings, and then ultimately make certain that you have 12 months of reserve savings.
That's good advice. Is there a certain amount of money that you should try to start, a certain percentage of your income? Should you? So I know it's going to be different for everyone, but just for someone that's new to this.
It is. 10% is a good starting point of your net take-home pay or your gross, but probably net take-home pay is easier for more people. But if you can't do that, if that's too much, then do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5%. Just get started. And it's a truism in financial planning that if you just get started, you'll actually begin to save more over time as you are encouraged by the fact that you can see money in your savings account that was never there before.
Something is definitely better than nothing, and it's going to take a while to build a habit, so maybe have a little bit of patience too. Mark, thanks so much for talking to us this morning. Happy tax day to you. I know my dad's an accountant, so it's kind of like
it's a busy
your guys'
time for all
Christmas. Of us. Thanks, Mark.
All right.
As of July